what's up, fam? Welcome back to the Financial Conversation. I am your host, Devon Harris, aka I Got the Keys. Welcome back, everybody. Today we have two special guests on this episode. Specifically, we're going to talk about real estate. Here on my right, I have my business partner and my life partner, Miss Demetra Spigliati. And here on my left, I have the Alex Martin with quite an extensive resume. What's going on, brother?
Alex Martin. Thank you for the introduction. I didn't know I was going to get a hard introduction with the title on it, but thank you. Yes, I'm in the building.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Devon. Shout out to Demetra. This is an amazing podcast. If y'all see this spot, if anybody gets a chance to get up here, y'all going to love it.
Absolutely, brother. Hey, and I appreciate you coming up here and just having a good conversation with us, man. So, Alex, man, first and foremost, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, man, we're going to get into the straight intro. All right, shoot. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Alex Martin. I'm a realtor with Village Premier Collection.
Okay.
No, I'll play. I ain't going to go like that. But my name is Alex Martin, realtor with Village Premier Collection. I've been in the business for over 3 years as a realtor, and I've been managing construction and rehab projects for over 2 years. I work closely with a couple builders and GCs. Yeah. So I've just been blessed with a lot of resources, just playing my role and now just kind of like taking one step at a time. And it's been a blessing.
That's dope. I know how, Demetra and I, we were talking about this earlier today. How we met was low-key a blessing. We all went through a mentorship.
Right.
And
shouts to Justin Giles, man. Top fund manager. Sorry, I just got to cut in and just pay my homage real quick. That man took me under his wing. Yeah. He took me under his wing for a little over a year with his office. And it was like a complete 180 turn for my real estate career because I started with Keller Williams in town.
Really? I also started with KW.
KW, right? Yeah. So, I don't knock KW. I think it's cool that people, if they're first getting started, KW is a great option because they're educational.
Exactly.
You definitely going to have some classroom time. I didn't feel like I was getting as much hands-on as I did with Justin. Like, when I came to the real estate gurus and that office in Norcross, he completely, he put me in the chair and he was just like, listen.
Right.
I was listening to what he was saying, you're going to be a top producer. And I was just like, okay, it sounds good. It sounds
great, right? And I think
2019, I was a top 5% top producer.
Okay.
Top 5% producer with the ARA. Shout out Justin Giles, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. And I think that's important. That's majorly a major benefit to have mentors to sort of reach out to and have them show you all the ins and outs of something that you want to have going on for yourself. Yeah. Demetra, explain a little bit how we got started. How do we meet again?
So, I just wanted to say that I do admire Alex in this business because at the end of the day, he got all this knowledge from Justin, from, everybody that's doing pretty much the same thing, but he did find his own path in the business of real estate. Yeah. And that's what I do admire people, that they just not imitate what everybody's doing. You're out there doing your own thing.
Right. I think that's the most important thing is to realize the industry alone is so dynamic.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you get out here in Atlanta, this is Black Hollywood, so everybody just sees everybody, young entrepreneurs making money in this business. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Right.
But there's a niche for everybody, right?
Exactly.
You might be the lady who's selling condos in the city. Yeah. You might be the on-site agent for a builder.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could be working with a hedge. You might get an amazing opportunity. You know what I'm saying? To work for a hedge fund and represent them. It's just, I'm blessed because I got in front of the opportunities that was given to me, but I had, it wasn't something, I had to pay respects to first off, just
the source that gave you everything.
Just not only the source, but the foundation, just the opportunity itself. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the thing is, a lot of people don't take those opportunities and run all the way through it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's a big issue with a lot of people who get into mentors nowadays. They go into it expecting for everything to fall into place.
Right.
No, you're just educating yourself. A lot of people don't understand. You actually have to take action with that education, right?
Listen.
Otherwise, it's just sitting there in your head.
Yeah.
Listen, it's
the purpose of getting a mentor is just to open up your horizons and figure out where you belong in this industry or whatever industry you want to get into. So I feel like a lot of people, they just lose their purpose while they're getting into all these mentorships and programs, and they're just not understanding that this is only for them to research what they actually really want to do.
Right. I think once you remove, I mean, obviously, if you're in this business, like, you have an incentive to make money. Like, you're an investor, so like, you're making money, right? But I think, like, once you find like what kind of like is keeping you, you know, to chasing the money in that lane, right? Because you're in a big city.
Right.
You can meet people successful in any industry, and you might see yourself in another person, another industry one day, and just say, "Hey, this wasn't for me." That's a blessing right there. Like, you need to like, you know what I'm saying, channel. You need to really like, you know what I'm saying, let that take that, listen to yourself, listen to your gut.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I did. I teamed up. First I got a couple mentors. You know what I'm saying. I have a few mentors.
Okay.
I have mentors across the building. So we mentioned Justin. Shout out Justin. I have mentors, you know, people in my life who are just more so like a role model, like a male role model, like what they're doing professionally.
Right.
You know, so I got, shout out my guy, Brandon Banks. I was just talking to somebody here behind the scenes, and they were like, yeah, that name sounds familiar. So shout out Brandon Banks. He was also like a mentor to me. He's a Morehouse guy.
Okay.
So he introduced me to a few things, got me acquainted with folks at the Commerce Club. So shout out him for that too.
Okay.
But yeah, I had Justin as far as like the real estate brokerage, and like he gave me my first taste of what it's like to flip a house.
Yeah.
So I think like that's the key. That's the key. That's the
Yeah.
key right there.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta understand, like, one, if I'm Justin and I'm gonna show you the game, like I'm gonna show you the game, but I'm still operating in my own path
Lane.
too.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like you find a mentor, you know what I'm saying? You take it and charge it to the game.
Right.
I know people who are happy, who are mad, who are all the above about it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you got to look yourself in the mirror and get past it. You know what I'm saying? Life is about digging yourself out of low parts of your life that you're going through and stuff like that, just to, just to stay grounded. It's about staying grounded.
So
All right,
getting back, to your story, actually.
Right, I'm rambling, y'all.
Yeah.
We're going to edit some of this. We're going to edit some of this, right?
And the way I see it, though, a lot of people spend thousands on college, going to school to learn something that's eventually going to keep you in the rat race. We call it the rat race, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're hesitant making an investment on themselves towards something else, such as real estate, right?
Right.
And then when things go left or south, once, they don't make any money after learning the information, they're mad at everyone but themselves, right? So you have to keep, I think that's one important thing that you mentioned. You really have to take that information and run with it, right?
Yep.
You can't, this isn't a lazy man's game. Real estate is not a get-rich-quick scheme, guys. Right? It takes time. You got to be patient, and you got to ensure that you're staying consistent and always making moves, man. So,
A lot of people make it look overnight, though.
yeah.
So that's the thing about it. That's crazy. It's like a lot of people show their successes. Obviously, you see social media. You see what's going on in the city.
Mm-hmm.
You see how many people are successful in this. So, like, I think that like, can weigh on people.
Right.
But either way, at the end of the day, like, everybody's walking their own path. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, you
And
gotta be responsible for your own bag. So if you're blaming somebody because you gave them money for a mentorship, it didn't turn the way you wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's just something you got to check yourself about before you move to the next opportunity. But life's all about risks too.
Right.
So
That's really important what you're saying, because at the end of the day, you can't depend on anybody because it was your choice to, start a venture for your own, for yourself. So, in our case, we were actually really lucky on our first flip that we met Alex, and I think, we were about to sell our first house, and we literally had no clue what's going to be our profit, what's happening. We were like, we were stressing. We're like, did we do all this for $5,000? What's happening? So, we're lucky. We had Alex on our side. He did explain a lot of things to us. So, because Alex, he's been in the game, I think, before us. And so I have to ask Alex, so why real estate? From everything, like you said, you have a lot of mentors.
Yeah.
Why real estate?
Thank you. Real estate for me, it was like a progressive love that kind of I built for it over time. First, it was like, I'm just looking at everybody else in that lane. Like, first off, real estate wasn't my only industry that I worked in before, but I chose real estate after I went through my experience before that, right? So I chose real estate after my insurance career, after working in financial services and investment management.
Okay.
I actually used to work downtown Hartford with a couple private financial advisors, and I was on pace to becoming a financial advisor myself. So
you're well in the corporate America industry or world.
I don't consider myself corporate anymore. I don't work 9 to 5. Back in the day. Yeah. Back in the day, like that was like my MO as soon as I was out of college, because like I was like fresh out with an MBA, and I just felt like I deserved the world.
Exactly.
I was like, bro, like listen, like I was a dual grad associate. My resume is on fire for somebody out of college. I was a dual graduate associate, and my corporate residency was with Northwestern Mutual as an insurance agent.
Okay, you were killing
So I was already licensed in life and health insurance.
Wow.
So I was selling life insurance policies. We're also, I was also marketing and trying to sell disability income insurance, long-term care. So that was the insurance part. Fast forward after college, I went, downtown Hartford, and I'm working side with financial advisors. So now the insurance is like the foundation of that practice. So I kind of just built my career from there. So I jumped in the FA space. I failed the Series 7. The second time I took it, and I had like an hour taken off my time. It was a long, crazy story. But anyways.
But real estate pulled you away.
I got to real estate when I came to Atlanta, because I'm from Connecticut, and there ain't really much beautiful real estate. Well, let me not Connecticut. We have 2-3 family homes. You got nice, suburbs and neighborhoods. It's a tighter mix.
Right.
But out here, it was just way more vast. And I came down here, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but there's a lot of space and opportunity out here.
Oh, for sure.
And that just kind of clicked for me with real estate, because I started to think, I was just like, New York City's like what? I think I read something, it's like 426 square miles. And Metro Atlanta is like 8,000 square miles.
Really? Oh, yeah. Now that you think about it, because
it's huge.
Looking at the map.
It's huge. And it's bigger than that now, because now Metro technically is outside of 285.
Right. So what I'm understanding, a reason why you got into real estate, specifically in the Atlanta market, is just because of there's so much opportunity out here. Being from the housing to all the people, all the population down here, it just made sense at the time of you going through school and going through all the.
It was something I felt comfortable taking a leap. I didn't have everything figured out at that time, and I don't think everybody always has everything figured out, and you might go through different seasons in life. But I knew for sure, I was just like, you know what, I see myself as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
First it started as I was just researching, doing my research on investing, because I wanted to be an investor before I got to the realtor, before I started taking courses for that. So I was just researching wholesaling. I was shout out to the Breakfast Club. Feel cool saying that on here. But I watched the Breakfast Club, and there was some dude from Baltimore, I think. He was talking about wholesaling. Mark. Yeah, you probably heard the same thing. So he was talking about these these websites, to purchase zip codes and stuff like that. So back in 2016, 2017, that's when I first started researching. You know what I mean? I was just like, I don't know too much about this, but dang, you can make money without putting money down. Like, I need
wholesaling process.
Right.
I got to pay this for some zip codes. Let's get it. I'm about to start making calls.
It's funny you mentioned that, because that's exactly how we got started. That's literally exactly how we got started.
I feel like a lot of people was inspired by that interview. Like, I feel like after that interview, I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, I had a few conversations, and people like, yo, bro, you got that website? Yeah, you download the zip codes and stuff. I'm like, dang, you saw that? You saw the Breakfast Club too? So, yeah.
But it's important, what you're saying is that you have to research, you have to try things, you have to actually give it a chance to things that they might not work for you eventually, but at least you research, and then you can actually come up with what is for you.
Right. So I took that, I took it from the wholesaling to getting my license in July 2018. And when I started out in 2018, I was at Keller Williams, as we mentioned. Keller Williams, I wasn't doing much business there. I was doing a lot of studying and in the classroom.
Right.
So it was good. It was a good time to like build the business and like kind of just embrace it, like and dive in.
Right.
And then, you know, I closed with Keller Williams. I closed like 2-3 rental deals.
Okay.
And I had like a pipeline of like a couple buyers.
Yeah.
That was my first 6 months. So I was like, I see people getting listings. Like I see these top realtors in my office. Like I see this. Yo, man, shout out Atlanta because the women out here are superstars.
Oh yeah. Everybody's killing.
We are.
Y'all are some superstars. Like the women are superstars, especially in this arena. Like I tip my hat to y'all. Like y'all going hard for it.
Oh yeah.
So from everything that you know, from all these ventures that you did in real estate,
Yep.
what do you think were the most important or like hurtful mistakes that happened to you? And you know, what would you do now like differently?
Yeah. So what things did you have to overcome? Like the mistakes.
Man.
We all run into mistakes.
Right.
I've made a decent amount of mistakes.
What's one that
let's start from the first mistake I made on the investor side. Back in 2018, I did a joint venture. Two of my partners. Shout out my partner Kanai. Longevity.
Okay. Of course.
Shout out Kanai. It was me, Kanai, and we had another partner, Shaka, which is funny. Like this is like a couple months ago, we ran into him at Home Depot,
Really?
and I was just like,
Is there bad blood or?
you know, it's funny. Like I don't have any bad blood now because we settled out of court.
Okay.
Like he paid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't, man. I'm not trying to get messy on this platform. You know, I ain't come for that.
I feel like everybody had, you know, in the real estate investing career,
I think
everybody
maybe
had that one deal that something went really wrong with your partners.
That was my first. That was my first deal. But like, so that deal introduced me to joint ventures. So like, that's how I started my model.
So what is a joint venture for those who don't know?
Yeah. So a joint venture, as I understand it, is basically a contract where you're forming a partnership of investors and other vendors or parties that are part of the partnership that are going to all work together on the same accord. You know what I'm saying? All decisions are made as a collective. You know, just because you're bringing the cash doesn't mean that you're entitled to, you know, making the informed decisions, because chances are 9 times out of 10, the ones bringing the cash are the ones that are like, look, I ain't got time. I don't do no research. You the professional, so go ahead and get my money back.
Exactly.
So that was huge. And most important lesson I learned about that is like in a joint venture, make sure you are disclosing, like provide disclosures for investing. Like I have a managing partner, part of one of my joint ventures, and he provided disclosures to our investors, right? Mm-hmm. You have to disclose risk and reward because it's your money. You ain't got to sign that with yourself, right? Like, you kind of just jump in, but when it's other people's money, you start to see who people really are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You start to see who people are. So
business, man, especially when you're doing business with friends and family. You know, I can't tell you how many friends we lost over, you know, small mistakes. Yeah,
man, it's mistakes, and I think one of the biggest lessons I learned in this business is don't lose your leverage. Don't lose your leverage. This is all a leverage game. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. This business is 100% leverage. So what I mean by that is, if you are hiring somebody to do a job, you make sure that you remain with the upper hand. Okay. And what I mean by that is that you have enough leverage so that if you have to replace them in the best interest of moving the project forward without them, then you are not taking as much of an L in those situations. Right. Because let's be honest, if you flip more than one house, you probably at some point in Atlanta have dealt with some sort of negligent contractor situation where, something might have fell out, ain't pay or nothing like that, or they ain't finished the job. And there's so many ground rules I had learned, and now it's just like I'm sticking to that. Like if you can't work on that, then, first and foremost, if you're not going to meet me at the property, that's a red flag right there. I want to meet you at the property because I need to put my eyes on what you putting on, because guess what? You know what you're going to do? You're going to take the job, and then you're going to run up contingencies on me, and I'm not here for that. Yeah.
So one, you're saying we have to be really careful with who you're partnering up, and
just understand
and make sure what role everybody has in this investment, and to really watch out with your contractors and how you work with them, and You gotta know when to move forward with them and when to cut them loose.
Yeah, structuring
for your best interest.
Right. No. I think it's very important. Like, and I was introduced to different concepts, like what a capital partner is and a project manager. Like, we all thinking like investors, like we got the money, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's there's someone bringing the cash, there's someone that's managing, there's someone that's selling. You know, there's in the joint venture there can it can be more than just the investor. So.
So would you say after going through those problems or facing those difficulties, would you say that you needed to fail to truly understand the ins and outs or to truly learn the lesson?
I think I needed to fail because that's who I am.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
Preach.
I'm a dog at heart. Like well, I don't mean that in a bad way, ladies. I don't mean that. I'm just saying, like, in my pursuit of life, of what I'm doing, it's just like I got a dog fighting me. I'm the man with a chip on my shoulder. I'm not trying to portray like this huge like come up glory story, because I understand everybody kind of comes from somewhere where they had to build.
Right.
But my trials and tribulations, I just like look back at it now, and I was just like, yeah,
it had to happen.
I brought that upon myself, and I knew once I got myself into something that I'm not someone that will just drop it, give up, turn away, walk away. Like, I like to take all my hits to the chin and just keep it rolling. Like, if we gotta end this partnership, if we gotta end this deal, if we gotta do that, we gotta do it cordially. Let's do it cordially. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's big facts, man.
You gotta keep the momentum going. So, but yeah, that's one thing I learned is just like, one, have leverage. You know what I'm saying, with your contractors. Two, understand the partnership and roles you're getting into. And make sure you're disclosing to folks that are giving you money, because it is very personal, and you don't want to be falling out off of, oh, well, we told you this.
Yeah. Right.
Like, now it's kind of too late. Like, now you don't want lawyers to get involved and all that. Like, no one wants to just
make sure you got everything on contract.
Exactly.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
That's
a great segue.
That's a completely different conversation contract.
Yeah.
Let's say that for another segment.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna bring me back. You're gonna bring me back. I like it.
So, what would you do differently though? You've been in the game for a number of years now.
Yeah.
You face a lot of difficulties, difficult situations.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what you know today, what would you do differently?
I just wouldn't remove my leverage. I wouldn't give them my leverage. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. That's like number one what I learned is like the amount of people you hire, the higher the volume gets with the business, the harder it is to manage across the board. But again, like I have to stay on point with everybody. Right. Like, and on top of that, as far as the leverage goes, like, don't be paying these contractors all the money up front. I'm just going to say it. Don't pay them money up front. We could probably save like the details of that conversation for another segment or whatever, but
no, keep going with that though. That's because I think that's an important piece.
I do agree. I feel like
okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
That's important.
All right. I think it's important in order to keep your leverage, you're gonna need to have a contract in place, right? A contractor agreement with these contractors, right? I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney at law. I'm not any of that. I'm a real estate agent with Village Premier Collection. From my experiences, this is what I would do. This is how I would move. You know what I'm saying?
Make it more official. Make it more
official. Have a contractor agreement. Have a start, end date. Have performance clauses that work against their final compensation. And also your payment structure towards them. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, when they get in this business, like, a contractor, like an experienced contractor who's a finesser too, is gonna figure out how to
get you a few thousand
how to have that
more
conversation with you to where you feel like you already owe them more money than what y'all agreed to.
And we already know Atlanta is one of the biggest places of scams. This is one of the most places ever. So.
Yeah, shout out Atlanta, man. I love Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Atlanta has a lot to offer, but it's a big melting pot. So you got to protect yourself out here.
Definitely. Just
in this business.
I think that's one important piece, man. Guys, if you're getting into the industry, please don't pay these contractors everything up front. Have a plan in place. That way you ensure your work is being completed.
Yep.
All in the while, you're ensuring that the contractors are also getting paid at the same time. So
I would say another trick in all that, it would be to open up like a Home Depot account. So every time like contractors go and buy materials for you for your projects and stuff, they can buy it through your account, so you can actually see what they're buying. So I feel like that really helped us see exactly, because we had contractors buying their snacks, their drinks, like their,
you catch that on the receipt if you're paying attention. You'll
so
see.
You're looking at the receipt. Make sure you're looking at the receipt. Or like
Right.
they're buying the materials for your project, not their materials for their house.
Right.
So that's also a trick. I feel like
That's a good trick.
So let's
really
talk about
important.
labor and materials, right?
Yes.
I think it's very important. Like you
It's
get
very
out here,
important.
you dive in, you're an investor, you got a project, you're calling contractors, you're trying to build your scope of work. Okay, some contractors are not certified, licensed in what they do. They might be skilled enough to do the job, but they might not be licensed. So understand your situation as it stands. If you need to get something permitted or whatever the case is, make sure you have somebody in place or a resource in place for that, because it gets ugly if you don't and you get caught for it.
Right.
So I think that's very important. If you're going to be paying a contractor labor and materials, that's when you hold that carrot.
Right.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Let me repeat that again. If you're going to pay a contractor labor only, that's when you hold the carrot.
Okay.
I don't feed you little by little up front, because guess what? I'm paying for the materials.
Right.
You ain't sweat yet. How you
Right.
deserve a 50% deposit? I barely know you.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's
Y'all can
true.
feel it. Y'all see the
And-
pain. Y'all see the pain,
Yeah,
right?
no,
Like,
no, I mean that's
nah, but
real
it's
life
true though. It's true.
events.
Yep. And if it's labor and materials, my take. If it's labor and materials, then you work out something a little more structured. But again, have a contract in place. First and foremost, I'm gonna drop another gem that I kind of just picked up from a mentor. Meet your contractor at the site. Have a template of the contractor agreement, and have a W-9 form.
Yeah, off rip.
Right.
And why would you have that W-9?
The reason why I'm not a CPA, and Devon might know, that's why he asked me. That's why he got the keys. Nah. But the reason why you want W-9, because no one wants to be chasing nobody in tax season.
Yes.
And if you have to pay taxes on somebody else's dime, that is going to kill your return on investment. And people
Right.
do not know that. There's a lot of people don't even know like how they would need to go about filing taxes as a 1099 contractor, getting into this business. And, I think it's just, there's a huge learning curve. I would definitely advise people get on the internet, start calling people who have been doing this stuff.
Or better yet, get a mentor.
Get a mentor. But either way, someone who's going to speak from real experiences. Like, if someone is speaking with some pain, that's someone you listen to, because they really know what to stay away from. Like, that's
Right.
what you need.
That's funny.
And that's really important, because I feel like people nowadays, especially when when investors like they start for the first time doing their first flip, and they like it, they see how easy it is. They will prefer like the under the table payment, the cheap contractor, which he
Right.
still does a good job. So,
Right.
but you have to also see it long term. So you
Right.
definitely, because you're gonna be paying him at least 20,000. I feel like for your general contractor that he'll be doing your whole house.
Right, good amount of money.
So you definitely have to make sure you're not gonna be paying taxes on his payment.
Right.
And most of these contractors, because they are getting paid under the table, they're gonna try like 85%. They will try to avoid.
They gonna
They will
try to
try. They
finesse
will.
you.
Finesse the game.
Yeah, let them know.
Find them.
Let them know, Demetri. Let them know, for real. Look, we exposed y'all today.
You have to negotiate with them. I
That's
feel like
real.
from the beginning.
That's
Even
real.
if they tell you, well, I want this and this and this, don't ever think that you can negotiate whatever they will ask from you. Because at the end of the day, you're paying them. It's your business. So, you'll definitely have to meet halfway with the other person.
These are big facts. Really, really important tips.
Yeah.
Just to follow up with that, just to piggyback on what Demetri was saying. Listen, there's thousands of contractors out here, guys. Always get multiple quotes.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is some valuable information, Alex. I appreciate you joining.
Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all having me.
We're gonna
Shoot.
end it off with explain a little bit about your business and
Okay,
let everyone know how they can locate you.
Right. So, again, my name is Alex Martin. I'm a realtor with Village Premier Collection. I'm also an investor and project manager.
Okay.
I own 2 companies, so I work in a capacity where I'm an agent, but I also work in a capacity as an investor and partnerships. So I've had a lot of hands-on experience over the last 2 years, 2+ years in real estate, but over the past 2 years in the construction management side. I built a lot of resources with general contractors, engineers, every plug you're gonna need in here. So yeah, that's me. Y'all can find me on Instagram, amartinrealty.atl. I might change the handle soon. I gotta do a DBA for my company and stuff. Yeah, we could touch on that later and stuff like that. But yeah, so reach me on amartinrealty.atl. Yeah, I'm on TikTok now too, y'all. amartin.atl. I got a couple of videos. It's going crazy right now.
For the girls, for our friends.
Right. For the ladies too,
All right, guys. So I appreciate you two joining us today.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate
it. And of course, hopefully we can have some more conversation down the road.
Yeah,
I appreciate you,
definitely.
brother.
Definitely, man. Appreciate it. Yo,
then.
shout out to Devon. Shout out to Demetra. Devon got the keys, man. Y'all tap in with this dude.
Of course, guys. I appreciate you guys joining us today. As always, we'll see you for the next episode.
Yeah.